And let's have a look at the Cork team. The Cork captain is the goalkeeper Amy Lee from the Napier Club in the north side of Cork City. Her 6 defenders are a cool combination of experience provided by the likes of Libby Coppinger, Laura Tracy and Saoirse McCarthy, mixed with a newcomer like cornerback Maeve Murphy from Ballinora. Centre field is where the Leesiders have great strength and talent, because there's hardly a more forceful partnership than Hannah Looney and Aisling Thompson. Fiona Keating leads the attack with Katrina Mackey and Chloe Sigerson on the wings. Winning or losing might just depend on the performance of former Down star Saoirse McCarthy at the edge of the square, but she has huge help with the presence of 2 nifty corner forwards beside her, in Ciara O'Sullivan, who's a late change, and Amy O'Connor. Kilkenny goalkeeper Aoife Norris was outstanding in the semi-final against Galway, but she'll be hoping for a quieter day today at Croke Park. Grace Walsh has adapted well to the full-back role, which allows Claire Phelan to play 6, with Niamh Deely and Laura Murphy on the wings. Steffi Fitzgerald, whose sister Tiffany plays at cornerback, joins Katie Power in the middle of the field, and their work rate in recent games has been phenomenal. Miriam Walsh is a great talent at full forward and will have to be marked tightly. But Kilkenny have other potential match winners in Denise Gall at 10, Julianne Malone or Katie Nolan at top of the left, who can on their day step up to the challenge and either create or score when the need is greatest. Cork have used their bench wisely, and Glen Rovers' Emma Murphy has already proven in this championship she's got the talent to make an impact. Cliona Healy, Kate O'Mahony, Izzy O'Regan and Orla Cahalan are others who could expect game time today. Captain Aoife Prendergast is both a leader and a fine player, and she will make an impact if needed, while defender Miriam Bambrick and forward Sophie Dwyer from the James Stephens Club will surely be introduced by the Kilkenny manager Brian Dowling today. And here in Croke Park right now we have the President of Ireland, Michael D. Higgins, and right beside him to his left there is the President of Camogie Association, Hilda President, and we pause for the presidential salute.
On days like today, we relish trying to figure out who's going to pick up who. For you, what's going to be the key matchup?
Oh, Libby Coppinger and Miriam Walsh, full back and full forward. I can't wait to see a few high balls going in there. Both very physical players. Libby was outstanding, I thought, in the semi-final against Waterford. She got down over so much ball, burst out with so much ball. Miriam Walsh slightly quieter than her usual self in the semi-final. But I felt that in the league final, Carrie Dolan came on and they got a couple of high balls into Carrie on Libby Coppinger. And I'm wondering, has Brian Dowling looked back over that? I'm sure he has. And we might see a couple of high balls going into Miriam Walsh today in the first 10 minutes.
And it is Maeve Murphy's first start for Cork. Like, she's replacing Pam Mackey this year. Like, so it's her first All-Ireland final. So whether it's Mary O'Connell or Katie Nolan that goes on her, they're going to keep her busy. Like, Mary O'Connell's at 111, Katie Nolan 211. So I think if she can get a good start and get her confidence up, that is going to be key. Libby Coppinger and Maeve Cahalan have a wealth of experience, so they need to be supporting and protecting Maeve just until she settles into the game as well.
You mentioned Aoife Norris a little bit earlier, but we didn't mention Cork's Amy Lee, Ursula. We're going to see her now in a second. She's emerged as a real leader for Cork.
Yeah, and she's played a captain's part so far this year. You know, they've only conceded 4 goals, but to me, she's really thriving in the goal the last couple of years in particular, and she's really key to this Cork defence, because she, as you said, she's the captain, but her puck outs are excellent. She obviously is learning a lot from the likes of Davy being involved, because I'm sure he's given her lots of tips on, you know, how to play in the goal on the big occasion. But she's a real leader, and I can see why she's the captain, because she seems to be very, you know, unassuming in the goal, but very confident in herself. And I think both goalkeepers deserve a lot of credit for their performances this year. And again, you know, the defensive displays from both teams up to the final has been really impressive. Who can maybe get a goal past either one of them could be really vital today.
And Marie, we saw Hannah Looney there beside Aisling Thompson, and you know, we haven't mentioned her yet, and we forget how athletic she is, the capabilities she has as a hurler and the impact she can have on a game.
Yeah, and she had a very solid semi-final too, and she's been solid for Cork for many years. Look, I think again her presence in the middle of the field, her ball winning ability, her ability to score from distance is really impressive. There's just so many tasty matchups. I think the Cork half back line and that Kilkenny half forward line too, Julianne Malone and Denise Gall, they like to pull out and play wide, whereas the Cork half backs like to go forward. I'll be interested to see, will they follow the Kilkenny out the field? Will they hold? What will they do?
Anne-Marie, or Anna, the occasion, we haven't mentioned the occasion yet either, and we're looking at the crowd there, the president, just the whole feeling around the place. It is a big deal.
It absolutely is. It's All-Ireland final day. It's what these girls have trained for 10 months of the year. And I think sometimes people say to ignore it, it's just another game. But I think that's incredibly difficult because it's a massive honour and you nearly need to lean into it. The one thing I would say about both teams is that 4:15 is a very late throw-in. So the distraction, how they actually passed the day was really important. Pretty sure Cork came up this morning, sleep in their own beds last night. Kilkenny, I'm sure, did the same. And it is like how you utilise your energy and nearly hold on to your energy for today. Sometimes you can be thinking about the game, and that's not going to do you any good. So I think that kind of man management and game management is very important for both sets of managers.
Ursula, is this where somebody like Davy Fitzgerald might come into play?
Well, look, he's well used to All-Ireland final day, and I'm sure he's bringing so much of that experience. But I would just say Cork and Kilkenny are so used to playing at this level. They've got everything down to a T at this stage. They know the timings, they're ready for the game, and their sole focus is 4:15 today.
Okay, lads, it is time for our final predictions. Anna?
Given the fact you're, I'm going to say, wearing red and white, even though you're top.
It's orange.
Well, I see red. So, yeah, I just think like Cork's form hasn't hit the heights that they're capable of. What a better day to do it than today, so I'm tipping Cork.
Ursula?
I think Cork as well. I think they've held the upper hand on Kilkenny in All-Ireland finals in recent years, and I think we're going to see the best performance from them this year.
Anne-Marie?
I've been on the fence all weekend and all week leading into this and looking back over videos, but I'm kind of leaning. I think it's a bit tight affair. I think Kilkenny might take it.
Yeah,
I'll go for Kilkenny.
It is a hard one to call for sure. Well, now it is time to join our commentary teams. Creolo O'Cleha, Chianis Camogie Tana Heron, Isid Kwan O'Flarta, August Claire O'Connor, Aveg Imran Trakiirta O'Fork and Corkig. And here we'll be joining Marty Morrissey and Kate Kelly.
Thank you very much, Marie. As you two says, it's a beautiful day. The sun is shining, with blue skies overhead, and at ground level it's Cork and Kilkenny parading behind the Artane band on All-Ireland final Camogie Day. Today is special, it always is, for players who dream that one day they'll play in an All-Ireland final, meet the President and march around Croke Park. Today is also different. Some of the backstories are interesting. In 2018, when Cork last won the All-Ireland, the world was a different place. We'd never heard of COVID, never experienced a world pandemic. Life was normal. 4 years is a regular Olympic cycle. Yet in Cork, they consider 4 years as a famine since they last won the All-Ireland Senior Camogie title. In 2020, when Kilkenny last lifted the Duffy Cup, there was nobody here to celebrate their All-Ireland victory. Silence. Up here in the commentary box, you could almost hear every word the players said on the pitch. 2 years later, 7 of that Kilkenny team are absent today. Anna Farrell, Anne Dalton, Davina Tobin and Colette Dormer have retired, while Megan Farrell took the year out. The Doyle sisters, Kellyanne and Aoife, who both lined out against Cork in the league, are recovering from cruciate knee ligament injuries. So yes, today is special. The stories and the personnel can change, but ultimately it's Cork and Kilkenny in the All-Ireland Senior Final. So where are the key battles? To tell me and you and all that's happening, I'm delighted to be joined by one of the legends of the game with 4 All-Ireland medals and 9 All-Stars. It's Wexford's Kate Kelly. Kate, good afternoon. Delighted to have you with me here in the commentary position. This is going to be very tight, and I don't really expect that many goals. Would you agree?
I absolutely would agree, Marty. I think this is going to be a titanic battle, and look, you'd have to say Kilkenny are hot favourites. They came into this after two huge battles, but a key factor for Cork is they like to keep the goals out, and and a key factor for Kilkenny is Laura Murphy's goal the last day, and the day in Athenry was the goals they got. And looking back to last year, I think Cork, leading into the last 15 minutes, they were 3 points up, and Galway outscored them 1-4 to 1 point. So I think Cork are bringing in a lot of learnings, and Kilkenny's intensity. So I think we're in for a huge battle, and this will go down to the wire.
And Cork are missing some big names since the county met in last year's semi-final. Orla Cronin, Pamela Mackey and Laura Collins are also
Kilkenny's intensity. So I think we're in for a huge battle, and this will go down to the wire.
And Cork are missing some big names since the county met in last year's semi-final. Orla Cronin, Pamela Mackey and Laura Collins are also significant losses. But Matthew Toomey has built a fine young side, hasn't he? Intermixed with a bit of experience.
Yeah, definitely. Like where the opportunity has arose, a lot of players have stepped into the fold. You've Maeve Murphy, Keelan Healy and Katie O'Mahony. And he's used a lot of players this year, 28 players over the championship. So he's looking to expand on his panel. I think he would have learned from a good few things from last year's All-Ireland too, where he only got 2 players on in that last quarter. So I think he definitely would have liked to get a lot more players up to speed, Marty.
So here in Croke Park, there's a minute's silence for the late Lily Spence from County Antrim, an All-Ireland medalist back in 1947. She was Camogie president from 1956 to 1959. Also a minute's silence for Nancy Timmins, who is also remembered here. We pass on our deepest sympathies to all the families involved, from everybody here in RT Sport. Hugely significant day indeed for the people of Antrim, with the sad loss of Lily Spence, a legend in County Antrim, as I mentioned, Camogie president from 56 to 59, and today of course Antrim won the Junior All-Ireland title in a thrilling match against their neighbours Armagh.
The tragic passing of Camogie Ross for temporary coroner Dylan Crook, aged 24.
We also remember here in Croke Park the late Dylan Quirk from Clonalty Rossmore, who was sadly, we lost him on Friday night during a championship match against Kilroe and McDonough. And to everybody, his family, we were heartbroken. I know I was in Clonalty Rossmore only yesterday, and we're all heartbroken for the Quirk family and the community in Clonalty Rossmore and the Tipperary GA. A brilliant hurler, just 24 years of age. On behalf of everybody here in RT Sport, we pass on our deepest sympathies to the Quirk family as well. The scene is set. What's it going to be? Cork's 29th All-Ireland Camogie title or Kilkenny's 15th? Ray Kelly is in charge of his 3rd All-Ireland final. 2015, 2019 were the previous finals. He's also in charge of the Ashburn Cup final earlier this year. Final few words in that Cork gathering. You can see number 18 there is Ciara O'Sullivan. She's a late replacement. She's going to be playing in the full forward line. Huge tension, great rivalry between these counties. Kilkenny coming through, beating down Limerick, Antrim, Offaly, to drew with Galway in that sensational game in Athenry, beat Dublin in the quarter-final and then beat Galway in the semi-final. Cork have come through, beating Wexford, Clare, Dublin, Waterford, lost to Tipperary in the last match before coming through against Waterford in the semi-final. Both teams were down at the break by 5 points, but Cork went on to win by 5. Kilkenny had a huge task, dethroning the All-Ireland champions. This is what dreams are made of. This is Croke Park on All-Ireland final Camogie Day. Cork won the toss, playing from left to right. We're in the Cusack stand, Kay Kelly and myself, as we look across to the Hogan. Handshakes have been exchanged, and now we are set for the 2022 All-Ireland final on the 7th of August, on a lovely day in our capital city. Ray Kelly makes sure that everybody's in their place, and away we go. The All-Ireland final is underway. Kilkenny going into the attack immediately. Coming across is Saoirse McCarthy, losing possession, and Kilkenny have an opportunity to get the first score of the game. And it's a really, really good one, and it's coming off the stick of left cornerback Tiffany Fitzgerald.
Super score by Tiffany Fitzgerald. You know, popped out pass and over the bar. A great start for Kilkenny.
Good puck out from goalkeeper Amy Lee. Cork going into attack. Here's Aisling Thompson. Came on in the semi-final and made a huge difference, giving it into the centre towards Fiona Keating. She's outside the Kilkenny 45, just dropping in. Out comes Aoife Norris. Had a really solid game in the semi-final, bringing off some brilliant saves when the pressure came on. Good hands being held, but good work by Katie Power, who indicated that she was being held, but the referee said play on. Claire Phelan from Lisdowney, sending it along the wing. Battle there, and Libby Coppinger gets as far as Aisling Thompson. Milford player. This losing out to Niamh Deely, sending it back into the Cork half of the field. Coming across is Maeve Carlan, backing there with Denise Gall. She's the number 10, as Cork work the ball back in towards the hands of Laura Tracy. Gives it to her keeper, Amy Lee, from the Napier Club on the north side of Cork City. Getting it down for Saoirse McCarthy, former student of Kinsale Community School, like Fiona Keating. For all sport is played, including Camogie. Here comes Saoirse dropping this in. Out comes the goalkeeper, good control, Aoife Norris. She's not going to be easily beaten. She really is having a fine season. Laying it off, and Kilkenny come forward, driving it into the Cork defence. Good work, good anticipation by Laura Tracy from Killa. Laying it off for as Aisling Thompson. Kilkenny cats beside her, giving it back for as Laura Hayes. Back for as Thompson again. Short little grip of the hurley. Kilkenny putting in the hard work as they did in the semi-final. Their work rate was phenomenal. Laura Hayes is there, the number 5 for Cork. In comes Fiona Keating. Ball bobbling around the place. Pulling on it is Katie Nolan. Ball is back inside the Kilkenny half of the field. They work it out and they spray the ball into the middle. That's a good ball. Over first Katie Power. Little shimmy to the left. Makes the specs. Being pursued by Saoirse McCarthy. Ball from the 45 is swinging to the right and wide. First wide of the match for Kilkenny.
Yeah, and you know, great work, and players settling into position and picking up who they're meant to, and you can see Denise Gall popping into full forward and his back out round, and Miriam Walsh. A lot of movement around the pitch, Marty.
Amy Lee sees that Maeve Murphy from Ballinora, newcomer on this Cork side this season, giving it back for us Laura Hayes. In turn, Hannah Looney, one of the 3 killer players on the Cork team, spraying it across. Just 1 point on the scoreboard. Nice little turn by Saoirse McCarthy, daughter of Gregory McCarthy, the former Down footballer. Recently transferred this year, and she sets up the first score of the match for Cork in this match. The sides are level thanks to full forward Saoirse McCarthy.
Yeah, and a great shimmy, got the ball out wide, threw a great shimmy, steadied herself, and a huge puck over the bar. And you know, that's what Cork needs, 1 point each.
The umpires and the referee have been told just about to double check. So Hawkeye being employed for the first time in this All-Ireland final, which would indicate perhaps this ball was outside the target. We're checking it here, and that's a kneel. Disappointment for Cork. Disappointment for Saoirse McCarthy. When you have the technology, you got to use it, particularly here at GA headquarters.
Absolutely, Marty.
Puck out from Aoife Norris. Good hands, good catch, good work by Julianne Malone. Came back from Australia at the end of last year, giving it back as far as Katie Nolan, and that's over the bar. Good score. Scored 3 points against Galway, and they were all badly needed. Avails of the space here to put this over the bar.
And great work by Julianne Malone, you know, out for a couple of years, back into the scene, player of the match in the last All-Ireland she played, and she set up that point, and a great pop pass to Katie Nolan.
Kilkenny coming away from the ruck, laying it off, and creating the space, looking around to see who's available. Kilkenny have it and retain it. Little pop pass again, and ball is dropping in, but this time it's gone harmlessly wide off the stick of Katie Power. Second wide of the match for Kilkenny. Amy Lee, goalkeeper in the intermediate team back in 2016 and 17 and 18. Winning, of course, in 2018. Took over from the legendary goalkeeper Aoife Murray. Fiona Keating. A little bit of pressure. Manages to move swiftly out of the troubled area. Hannah Looney is there, sending the ball in, but it's 2 against 1. Once again, Claire Phelan's anticipation and knowledge of the geography of what's happening is pretty impressive. Good work here by Kilkenny as they send the ball across field. Saoirse McCarthy just took her eye off it. Gives an opportunity here for Mary O'Connell, trying to get inside. Good defending by McCarthy, doing rather well, taking too many steps. There was nobody arriving early enough to distribute it, in fairness to Mary, but you have to give credit to Saoirse McCarthy because having lost the possession, she recovered well, didn't she, Kate?
Absolutely. You could see the nervousness in catching that ball, but she did, you know, intense tackling and disciplined, and she got her free out, which she'd be super happy with that.
Amy Lee driving it along. Knocked down, just getting a little touch is Niamh Deely. Going down to gather with Steffi Fitzgerald from Young Ireland's club in Gorham. Claire Phelan, rock solid. Won her first All-Star back in 2019 at number 5. She's adapted well to life at centre half back. Kilkenny spraying the ball across, trying to open up this Cork defence. Ball in hand, Miriam Walsh. That usually means trouble. This time, it's just inside the post and over the bar. It was a brief consultation. The umpires looked at each other, and they put up the white flag.
Definitely one, Marty, that could be, you know, questionable as well, but I think it might have snuck inside the post.
Good work here by Miriam Walsh. Just inside the post. Kilkenny have started well. Cork yet to score. Almost 8 minutes gone in the first half. Down that middle channel. A race for possession. Good work by Julianne Malone. Coming across is Laura Tracy. Quick hands as far as Hannah Looney. Back to Hannah again. Killer, home of so many stars, both in Camogie and hurling. That's a nice little bit of skill too. As Cork get the ball into the attack, but good defending again by Kilkenny. As Amy O'Connor was challenged, and that's a bit of pushing, I think, and that's a free out for Kilkenny.
Yeah, a bit of a push there, Marty, but you could see the amount of Kilkenny bodies around that ball and around the player, and they were just waiting for the opportunity to get the tackle in. They overturned it, and they won their free out.
Claire Phelan driving it along, batted away. Fiona Keating unable to gather it first time. Kilkenny putting in the hard work, as I mentioned. Cork struggling to get the ball past our midfield area in these early stages. Bit of a scrum here, so Ray Kelly wisely is going to throw the ball in. Just outside the Cork 45-metre line. Trying to scoop it up, trying to get it up is Aisling Thompson, but Kilkenny have the possession. Ball comes loose and available. Little touches required. Good vision by Kilkenny. Comes down far as Michelle Tehan, player of the match in the All-Ireland semi-final against Galway. Trying to get the ball inside. The goalkeeper, Amy Lee, has to come off her line quickly. Anticipated what was going to happen. Feeds it to Libby Coppinger. Cork come away with Laura Tracy. Ciara O'Sullivan gets the ball under severe pressure. Gets as far as Fiona Keating. Laying it off. The call came from Hannah Looney. Gets by her immediate opponent, that's Steffi Fitzgerald. Great running. Ball inside, but again, Kilkenny are doing the essential ingredients of any camogie or hurling team. They're hooking and blocking. So far, they're defending impressively. Again, the referee is going to have to throw the ball in here. I know it's only, 10.5 minutes, but Cork finding it hard to get past the Kilkenny half-back line, aren't they?
Yeah, find it hugely difficult to penetrate in past the 45-yard line. They're winning a lot of ball around the middle. They're able to find their players, but penetrating the Kilkenny backs, they're finding very difficult.
Stalemate again. Just between the 20 and the 45-metre line in front of the Hogan. Kenny have it. Good work on this occasion by Laura Murphy. School teacher in Knockline in Dublin. Irish in history. Coming away with it is Piltown's Katie Power. Fine player in the middle of the field. Getting a little touch was Michaela Kennelly. Denise Gore giving it back for us, Katie Power. Pumping it in towards the corners. Miriam Walsh with Libby Coppinger. She's in front of the Hogan. She's going for the score, but I think this one is going to be signalled wide, and it is. A bit too optimistic, I would suggest, from there.
Yeah, I think it was a bit optimistic from Miriam, but you would have to say Kilkenny's distribution of the ball in, like Miriam, that's her second shot on goal. Katie Powers had a good few shots on goal. Like, they're really getting in to get shots on the goal.
Julianne Malone. Almost 12 minutes gone. Cork yet to score and struggling in crucial areas as Kilkenny have dominated. Miriam Walsh hitting it and sneaking this inside the post and over the bar. She comes into this All-Ireland final having scored 4 goals and 13 points throughout the championship campaign, but that is an absolute beauty from the full forward from Tullaroan.
Super score by Miriam. She didn't get a score in the semi-final, but she's making up for it today. That's her second score.
Quick puck out for as Libby Coppinger. Comes down for as Maeve Cahalane. Sister Orla is a substitute. All the Cahalans playing at the highest level. Her brother is the same. Coming away with it is Laura Tracy. Good ball in towards the corner. The Cork are going to have to spread the wings a little bit, but Kilkenny, look at that for defending. Good work by Amy O'Connor, but Kilkenny black and amber. Work ethic is superb. Julianne Malone giving it back for us. Steffi Fitzgerald stopped in her tracks on this occasion by Laura Hayes, and that's going to be a word of warning, if not a little bit more, from the referee Ray Kelly. In St. Catherine's Club, it's a yellow card for the wing back. Shoulder to shoulder challenge there, with it looked like from that angle on Steffi Fitzgerald. You know, Jim Hayes, grandfather Laura Hayes, is watching this in the Connacht area near Fermoy in North Cork. Very proud of his granddaughter, and rightly so. Fine player. I know she's on a yellow card, but you'll see her throughout this All-Ireland final as Denise Cole gets her first point in this All-Ireland final.
Again, Marty, you'd have to say Kilkenny are really after settling into this game. Like, you know, Cork really need a score at this stage to get themselves back into it, and just really struggling past the midfield to get a ball into a good position for a score.
Quick puck out, comes down for us, Katrina Mackey. Looking around to see who's available again. Good work by Steffi Fitzgerald knocking it down towards Laura Murphy. Spraying it across again. They're using the wings. They're trying to expose this Cork defence. But when they get an opportunity to have a go, that's class. Denise Goal from Windgap in County Kilkenny is just a superb player.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, she probably had an off day the last day. Her radar wasn't on in free taking. And look at 2 points on the trot for Denise. Super scores.
Matthew Toomey, the Cork manager, must be a little bit concerned. Halfway through the first half, his team down by 6 points and Cork yet to score. Ball is sent in. Kilkenny, masterful. Adding on. No, they're not. That ball is wide. It looked like it was going over off the stick of Michaela Kennelly. Brian Dowling and his management team just a little bit disappointed. I think they thought that was going over. Long tuck out from Amy Lee. Steffi Fitzgerald. Leadership is required. Who better to look to than Aisling Thompson? Nice wrist work. Good play by Katrina Mackey. Gets inside the Kilkenny cover for the very first time. Past the 20, the 13, about to pull the trigger. And the Kilkenny defence comes across. There was perhaps an opportunity to spray it to the right, but Katrina Mackey had the acres in front of her wide open. But great defending again by Kilkenny.
Super defended by Kilkenny. You know, there was 4 players chasing her down, and they just waited their time to, you know, get the opportunity to flick the ball or block her, and they did, and the ball is up the field.
Aisling Thompson's hurley is knocked out of her hand by Michaela Kennelly. So it's going to be a free for Cork.
You would have to think, Marty, that Cork at this stage need to relax or get themselves into it or show a little bit of leadership around the field. Like, they need players now to step up and get a score on the board and bring themselves back into this game.
All of Kilkenny's 6 points from play. It's Grace Walsh getting some medical attention. She's a nurse herself in St. Vincent's here in Dublin. Davy Fitzgerald answering the call to become Cork coach. Matthew Toomey is on the record that he asked 17 different people to become coach, and they all declined for different reasons, but Davy Fitzgerald responded, and he's part of this Cork backroom team as we look again at Katrina Mackey. Good defending by Kilkenny. And even if she got through, she still had to face Aoife Norris.
Absolutely, and after her game the last day, you wouldn't bank on it being in the back of the net either, Marty.
Long ball up towards Saoirse McCartan. Has to come out in front of the Cusick to gather it. Lovely balanced player. Sending it across. Nipping in. Trying to gather the possession. And the Cork attackers who are being deprived of quality possession. Katrina Mackey again in the thick of it.
Yeah, and it's like deja vu for the semi-final for Cork. It took them 22 minutes to, you know, to register a score, and look at 18 minutes on the board, and they haven't got a score. And you could see from Davy on the pitch the last time, just telling him to calm and maybe settle into it. So they will still hope they're going to make a big impact on this game.
Aisling Thompson, perhaps the score would give them confidence. And Thompson, unfortunately from her perspective, sends it to the left and wide. Second wide of the match for Cork. They really emphasised all week, Cork did, that they needed a good start. They haven't gotten.
No, absolutely not. They've got far from a good start. You know, they've a big uphill battle at 2 goals in it at this stage, and you know, Cork really need to register a score.
Kilkenny 45-metre line, front of the hugger. Referee blowing the whistle eventually. Want to give a throw ball here. Steffi Fitzgerald is the Kilkenny number 8. Cork have it. Dropping this in. Aoife Norris under no pressure. Has the time to deliver it out to the wing towards Michelle Tehan. Goes long. gathered by Katie Nolan. Makes an angle, makes the space, and the ball is gone wrong side of the post. 5th wide of the game for Kilkenny. When we look at the scoreboard on your TV screen, they've got 6. Shows you the dominance of Kilkenny.
Yeah, absolutely. They're very dominant, and that would have been a super score had Katie Nolan got it over. One ball up from Shelty and into her hand, and just slightly left.
Chloe Sigerson laying it back for us, Laura Hayes. Picked up by Fiona Keating. The space has opened up. Past the 20, past the 13, the shot. Cork are back in the game. It took 20 minutes for Cork's opening score. But running at the Kilkenny defence asks questions, poses problem. Katrina Mackey had done it a while ago. This time it was Fiona Keating, and she hit a rasper past Aoife Norris.
Yeah, and what leadership that was by Fiona Keating. She went down the middle, she took him on, and she took the shot. And at that, Pamela Mackey was on the outside, or Katrina looking for the pass, so the option was there also.
22 minutes to score in the semi-final for Cork, 20 minutes in the final. Down at half-time by 5, they won by 5, as I mentioned earlier. Perhaps that will settle them, but Kilkenny respond magnificently. Always the sign of a very good team. Michaela Kennelly getting her first point in this All-Ireland final.
And working as a great unit again. Katie Nolan drew the tackle, won the ball, popped it out to Michaela, who was looking for it, and they got it over the bar. A great response, as you say, Marty.
Ball is dropping in towards Aoife Norris, who's happy to leave it going over the end line.
Probably what's quite noticeable, Marty, is Cork are playing quite out the field against the strong breeze, and a couple of balls have fallen short of not falling into the goal, and you know, they're not getting into the scoring position, or it's a little bit outside range.
Ball comes over towards Julianne Malone, battling with Saoirse McCarthy. Kenny retained the possession. Steffi Fitzgerald gives it in, but Cork win it back rather easily and race for possession. The Kenny are back there in numbers. Chloe Sigerson gets the ball, sends it in towards Katrina Mackey. She's running at them again. She's about to pull the trigger for the second time. She's fouled, and it's a free in. Well, if Matthew Toomey gets a chance, which I'm sure he will at half-time, I think he'll be telling his players, run at Kilkenny, because every time they've done it about 3 times, and Kilkenny seem to be troubled by it.
Yeah, very troubled. And look at, you'd have to go back on that last one as well. Chloe Sigerson got the ball on the 21, right out under the stand, and she pinpointed to Katrina with 3 and 4 Kilkenny players around her. And you know, they're the kind of things, as you say, Cork need to do: run at Kilkenny down the middle and draw the foul.
Amy O'Connor going to take this free. It's a far more respectable scoreline, considering that up to 3 minutes ago there was 0-0-0-0 on the Cork side of the scoreboard. 4 goals and 24 points on this championship journey for Amy O'Connor from St. Vincent's. 16 points from frees. Lift, strikes and scores. Cork are back in the game.
Absolutely, 3 points in it. Cork have arrived, as you would say, Marty.
They obviously missed the early bus as they did against Waterford, but they have finally landed here at GA headquarters. So let's see what happens in the next 6, 7, 8 minutes or so.
When you say that, Marty, I think they did have train difficulty from Mallow, so maybe you know, it set the pace for the start.
Katrina Mackey again, flicking it forward, much better from the lee side. So away goes Amy O'Connor, cuts into the centre, but it's outside the post and wide. Katrina Mackey, Amy O'Connor, getting the ball and giving them the possession is the key here.
Yeah, and with a bit of space like that, Amy turned on the afterburners there and you could see her speed, and she'd just be really disappointed with her finish there. She had the opportunity and the time to, you know, slot that between the posts.
Ball batted down. Hannah Looney unable to reach it in time. Sideline ball for Kilkenny. Niamh Deely going to take it. Another one of the James Stevens contingent. Rolling it along the ground. Works out fine. Crossfield ball. Laura Tracy is there for Cork. A little moment of anxiety, but it worked out fine, but her clearance is a poor one. A little bit too strong and too high. So it's a sideline ball for Kilkenny. You really, at this highest level, can't give away the possession that easily.
No, definitely not. And like Laura got that ball, she's playing that sweeper role, had lots of time to, you know, steady herself and get a better ball out, and, you know, just, you know, too much on that ball and out over the line.
Kilkenny player down injured, down at the other end, down towards the Hill 16 end. Medical attention to Ray Kelly, the referee, is just coming across now to ensure that she's okay and continue on. Gives everybody a breather, but it's been first half dominated by Kilkenny, but Fiona Keating's goal, she took it so well, and it had to be a quality shot to beat Aoife Norris.
Absolutely, it was a super shot down low to the ground, and you know, well placed, and you know, she had three players after her there, so that getting in the strike, she just got a super finish to it, and it's exactly what Cork needed to bring them back into this game.
Centre half forward Fiona Keating scored 2 points against Waterford in the semi-final. Clearly Waterford are an up-and-coming side, knocking on the door in recent years.
Yeah, definitely, and look at their performance in the semi-final. Had they have got a few more chances that they created, it could have been a very different story here today, but you'd have to say they're making huge progress all the way through in all the age groups, and that will come forward at senior level, Martin.
Sideline cut taken. Cork winning cleanly. Hannah Looney here, stepping away from the challenge and running again at the Kilkenny defence, laying it off to her midfield partner Aisling Thompson. The referee saw the trip. No major advantage being given. I think Aisling is disappointed she didn't get the freedom to keep going, but it is a free, and every shot here is important, particularly as we head towards the half-time break. Considering at 20 minutes it was 6 points to 0, after 27, almost 28 minutes, it could easily be 7 points to 1-2. Amy O'Connor on the 45-metre line. Hits it gently, accurately, over the bar. Just 2 points between the teams. Normal service has resumed when Cork and Kilkenny meet. Ball batted down again. Steffi Fitzgerald trying to gather it. Denise Gall has arrived now. Still can't Cork have the ball somehow. And that's going to be a free for Cork.
Great steal by Hannah Looney there, you would have to say. You know, how she got the ball off Steffi there, I don't know, but she's fired up now and delighted to be getting the ball going in again.
Saoirse McCarthy takes the free. Saoirse McCarthy kicks it forward. She's without a hurley, I think, at the moment. Still battling away just outside the tee, as you can see. Kenny comes back for Fiona Keating, and she hits this over the bar. Goal and a point for Fiona Keating from Corsi Rovers. She has dragged Cork back into this All-Ireland final.
Yeah, and found herself in a great position right in front of the goal to slap that over. She really has brought Cork back into this game.
Puck out from Aoife Norris. Gathered superbly by Aisling Thompson. Cork midfield coming to life. Swinging the game around, and Cork's favour, Amy O'Connor, head down, bursting forward. But unfortunately, the radar not working on this shot. Additional time, I think I could hear Jerry Grogan there in the background saying 2 minutes. That's Kilkenny, by the way, haven't scored since the 20th minute. Ball comes back outside. Trying to pick it up is Katrina Mackey. Hand passed. Possession given away. Can he have it once more? Hand pass, second one wasn't so accurate either. Trying to get it back is Katie Power. Good ball inside, considering there were plenty of Cork players in front of her. Katie Nolan trying to get away from Maeve Murphy. The referee has blown his whistle, giving a free to Kilkenny. Denise Goal in no rush, coming across to take this free. I think she will also realise, considering their dominance in the first 20 minutes, that they'll be happy to go in front, but I'm sure they'll be disappointed. It might just be a couple of points. Denise Goal takes the free, and that looks like it's going to Hawkeye. No, the umpire signalled wide. There's no disagreement. You just sense that once Cork got that goal, Kate, that the Kilkenny cage seems to be rattled. Their confidence just seems to be draining a little bit, which I'm surprised.
Absolutely. I think the momentum has gone out of Kilkenny a bit, and you know, even Denise leading up to that free, I thought she was right to slow it down and get the momentum, but then a little bit unlike her that the radar was off and throwed it wide, so they really need something to settle them back down and get back into this game.
Kenny winning the possession back. Good work by Tiffany Fitzgerald. But Cork in the last 10 minutes have come to life. Saoirse McCarthy, far is Aisling Thompson. Good diagonal ball. First touch is crucial, and it's good. 4 Kilkenny Cats in front of the attacker, but that ball is gone visually, parked along the end line. And Kilkenny cleared their line, but not very effectively. Good work by Saoirse McCarthy again. Unselfishly giving it to her as Chloe Sigerson. Ball inside for us, Katrina Mackey. And that is the best score nearly of the game. It's a real team effort, Kate.
Yeah, brilliant team effort right down under the Cusack. You know, they played the ball around till they got it to the person in the right position, and a super score by Katrina Mackey.
Sides are level for the second time. And the referee blows the half-time whistle. Well, can you believe the story of the first half? When Kilkenny dominated for 20 minutes. Cork had 0-0 on the score sheet. Then Fiona Keating got the goal, which changed the game on the 20th minute. And they go in level at half-time. Half-time score in Croke Park in the All-Ireland Senior Camogie final. Plenty to talk about. The analysis will be interesting. It's Cork 1-4, Kilkenny 7 points. Don't go away.
Well, the sides are level here in Croke Park. Cork 1-4, Kilkenny 7 points. Kilkenny got the opening 6 points of the game. Cork didn't score for 20 minutes, then Fiona Keating found the net, and it was a much needed goal. In fact, it ignited Kilkenny really, but you have to, or Cork, but you have to credit Kilkenny for their fast start.
Absolutely. They held Cork scoreless for the first 20 minutes themselves. They got 6 points from play in the first 14 minutes and they had 5 scorers. They really tore into Cork from the very start. They didn't hold back. I thought they had real intent. You see Tiffany Fitzgerald popping up here. She's named as dark corner back, pops up and puts this ball over the bar. Talk about making a super transition from an intermediate final to a senior final. Aerially, I thought they were very good. Kilkenny weren't afraid to take on their player, laying off a little pass here to Katie Nolan, and a brilliant score by Katie Nolan, who has been involved in so much of what has been good about Kilkenny up front. All her work, winning that hard ball and then just giving a little pass off outside. This is a super score here. I think it's Denise Gall. Little pick up, lays pass off outside, and a brilliant finish by Denise Gall. They've had, I think they've only had one free and Denise missed it. Laura Murphy here, what a pick up that was. One hand, flick into the hand, and a diagonal ball across the field. I think they're finding space really well. Super long range free by Denise. Ursula spoke about it beforehand, Kilkenny sharpshooters, and they really started the half like that. Just the space I think that they've left inside, they're really isolating Libby Coppinger. Super ball across from Denise Gall to Miriam Walsh, and Miriam does so well. She's out to the sideline here. Her physical strength here to get down over that ball and win the ball, and a really difficult angle puts the ball over the bar. If you look at Denise Gall on the left of the picture here, she has the hand up telling them to put the ball across the field. You see the hand up, cross, diagonal ball again. That little flick did not happen by accident. Miriam Walsh flicked it out into space for herself. She still had a massive amount to do. It was a replay of the last shot. Very difficult angle. 2 points from Miriam Walsh at full forward. Now, we spoke about the Kilkenny start. The Cork finish. They had 12 minutes, they scored 1-4. I think the goal ignited them. Kilkenny probably petered out. That intensity they started with, it kind of died off in the last 10 minutes.
Ursula, when we were watching that first half, it was quite like the semi-final when Cork didn't score for 24 minutes. They went almost 20 minutes there without scoring. Was it a case that Kilkenny's defending was really strong?
Very strong, and it's what we expect from them now, because they're such a tight, compact unit, and they completely dominated the game. For the first 20 minutes, they were getting the flicks, the blocks in. They weren't giving the likes of Amy O'Connor any space, and you see there's 3-4 defenders around her, and they get the turnover and win the free out. They were exceptional at that, and the size of Croke Park pitch, they weren't giving Cork any space. Constantly tracking back, putting Cork under pressure, but Cork ran into trouble more so than often too. So it's a bit of brilliant Kilkenny defending, poor decision making from Cork, but again Kilkenny get the numbers back, and they completely overpowered Cork in that first 20 minutes. But in the last few minutes they've maybe been under a little bit more pressure. Grace Walsh again, very, very touch tight, very strong over the ball, and again they've got the backup, clear feeling, a brilliant delivery out. My one worry would be Grace Walsh has went down twice in that first half. She seems to have a shoulder injury, and even her last clearance she hit it out very, very meekly, so that will be a big worry for Kilkenny.
It'll be interesting to see now if she comes out in the second half. Look, Anna, we spoke about the good things that Kilkenny did, but at the end of the day, it's level on the scoreboard now. You did have your head in your hands a few times during that half, but you were smiling too.
Yeah, because I slightly disagree. Yes, the Kilkenny defending was excellent, but I think Cork, I suppose it took them a little bit of time to get to grips with the game. They put 3 balls into Aoife Norris's hand because they were against the wind, and they were striking shots slightly out of, I suppose, beyond their reach. Like, they had 5 wides, 4 of those could easily have gone over. And I suppose like that, when you have players doing all the hard work to get into scoreable position, maybe taking the extra step or not passing to the support player. Like, at one stage Katrina Mackey was completely unmarked and they didn't use her. But then all of a sudden, 20 minutes in, like we talked about Amy O'Connor, Aisling Thompson, Hannah Looney, up steps Fiona Keating, and she really took the game. Like, that's exactly what Cork needed. If anything, I actually think it took the wind out of Kilkenny's sails completely. And like, she stepped up with another score, then Amy O'Connor got 2 frees, and Katrina Mackey got a point as well. But this Cork team will still feel really disappointed with their first half performance, even though they're level, because they're used to clocking up a lot more scores on the board. And I think with the wind now, what they need to do is start finding players. They start going for long shots, like it could end up being lots more wides. So what they need to do now is find each other. So yes, we started poorly, but we finished really strong. And if anything, I think the intensity now the Cork showed in that last few minutes gives them the momentum going in at half time. And it's Kilkenny will need to find something now in the second half. And I think Cork, even though, like, I suppose they're not at their best, they're still asking questions of Kilkenny.
Yeah, and we saw that Matthew Toomey in the semi-final was able to bring his team in at half-time, make the changes that he needed to, and get his team that he playing the way he wanted them to. Well, the second half is coming up shortly, but first, here's a chance to win a trip to New York.
RTE Sport have teamed up with Aer Lingus and Fitzpatrick's Hotels New York to give you the chance to win a holiday for you and a friend to the Big Apple. Aer Lingus, who have 4 daily flights to New York, will fly you direct from Dublin or Shannon Airport, where you will then stay 5 nights in a suite at the elegant Fitzpatrick Manhattan Hotel, located in the heart of Manhattan, close to all the main attractions. Take in Times Square, the Statue of Liberty, a Broadway show, and so much more. And so you can hit the shops. There's $2,000 for your pocket too. For your chance to win, answer this question. Which of these won the All-Ireland Senior Hurling Final 2022? Was it Limerick, Waterford or Kilkenny? To enter, call 15 17 71 71 74 or text the word GAME followed by your answer and name to 57117. Calls from the Air network will cost €2.03. Calls from other networks may be higher. You must be over 18 to enter. Lines will close at midday on Monday, 8th of August. Full details are on rte.ie/competitions, where the lucky winner will also be revealed.
Welcome back to Croke Park for the second half of the All-Ireland Senior Camogie Final. When they met in the league in Park Equive, it ended Cork 1-8, Kilkenny 1-8. And guess what? Here at half-time, the sides are also level 1-4 to 7 points. Plenty of Cork support here, loyal servants over the years as we start the second half. Where will the O'Duffy Cup reside for the autumn and the winter of 2022? Down north side or on the banks of the Lee? Let's see what happens as Aisling Thompson comes away with the ball. They will hope for a far better opening 20 minutes of the second half, Cork, than they did in the first. Saoirse McCartan, huge addition to the Cork team this particular season. Katrina Mackey getting the shot in despite the efforts of Claire Phelan. Kenny, however, come away with it with Katie Power, sending it down that wing in front of the Hogan. Libby Coppinger tries to go along the sideline, but Miriam Walsh is stopping her tracks there. Ball is kicked into the centre to get it away. A chance here for Kilkenny, but the ball is well wide of the target, off the stick of Julianne Malone. Referee wants the puck out to be taken again. Make sure that all the players are fit and well. I think there was a slight delay. There was perhaps a Kilkenny player looking for attention. But anyway, the ball is going to go back to Amy Lee to take the puck out again. $23,426 is the official attendance. And right from the start, tension was palpable about these two great rivals battling it out for All-Ireland glory. Steffi Fitzgerald sent the ball in. Libby Coppinger is equal to the challenge. Gives it to her centre half back, Laura Tracy. 2 against 1 here. Make it 3. Frontal charge by Aisling Thompson on Tiffany Fitzgerald. Going to be a free out for Kilkenny. Question is, can Kilkenny find their rhythm again? Kate Kelly.
I would like to think that both teams will find a rhythm in this half, and we'll have an epic battle that we're all looking forward to.
Ball drops in just inside the Cork 45-metre line. Katie Nolan trying to get away from Maeve Murphy. You can see why the Ballinora player has blossomed and got their place on the starting 15. Cornerback doing well. Libby Coppinger was rock solid at 3. Stalemate between the 20 and the 45-metre line here. In front of the Hogan. Kilkenny nowhere to go. Taking too many steps. Free out to Cork. As much as we complimented Kate Kilkenny for their defending in the first half, I think the kudos are due to Cork as well.
Yeah, definitely. You know, they've really upped their tempo. They've really come into this game. It took them 20 minutes, but as you say, they have arrived here, and you know their intensity and their level of working together and running off the ball, off the shoulder is working for them.
Amy Lee taking the free. Down towards Saoirse McCarthy. Kenny equal to the challenge and to the task. Comes back for us Tiffany Fitzgerald, who got the opening score in this All-Ireland final. Nice pickup by Aisling Thompson. Great player, superb athlete, stopped in her tracks on the Kilkenny 45. And an opportunity perhaps for Cork to go in front. It says a lot about Cork's resilience and heart and determination that they got themselves out of the rush, because many a team would drop their heads to be 6 points to no score after 20 minutes.
Yeah, definitely, and they are showing huge resilience and fight here, and that was Aisling Thompson running down the middle again, taking him on and winning that free, and now Amy O'Connor has the first opportunity for Cork to go in front.
Hits it well. It's looking good from here, and it's over the bar. It's her third point in the All-Ireland final. Scored 5 against Waterford, 3 of those were from frees. She's equalled that in the sense of 3 frees here in Croke Park today. And Cork are in front, 1-5 to 7 points. Great hands from Julianne Malone. Good work though by Hannah Looney. Her presence along with Aisling Thompson and their stepping up a gear has certainly worked. Bit of a hospital pass though from Hannah, I have to say. It was going nowhere fast, and Kilkenny come away with it. First touch here is crucial. Nice pickup. Nice ball inside. Right player, right place. Miriam Walsh pulling the brakes. The goalkeeper came well off her line. Miriam Walsh throws it up over her right shoulder and flings that between the post and over the bar. She did very, very well. It's her third point of the game, but she really had to work hard for it.
Yeah, super score by Miriam. She was calling for that ball down to her left. She got it, and you know, 3 Cork players in on her. You could see she was making way for goal, and she changed her path and popped it over the bar when she couldn't get past. And brilliant score by Miriam Walsh.
It's Kilkenny's first score since the 20th minute of the first half. But Cork are responding. Goal scorer Fiona Keating hits it high, but hits it right and wide. Cork's third wide of the game. No, sorry, excuse me, 6th wide of the game. Level, of course, for the third time. And it's Cork again, coming through the middle. It's Hannah Looney. Those runs are proving dividends. And this time Kilkenny should be equal to it. But again, when Cork run at the Kilkenny defence, there is a serious worry down on north side, because they do cause problems. Balls in the middle of the field, referee right beside it, and they get that out of the rush there. They have it, and it's Cork that come away with it. Good work on this occasion by Maeve Murphy. Hand passing it into the centre. Nice work by Saoirse McCarthy. Knocked away from Aisling Thompson. There's a chop down on a Kilkenny hurley, so that's a free for Kilkenny.
Kilkenny will be happy with that. The last couple of balls by Cork, Hannah Looney going forward, 2 wayward passes, and then again that was a bit of a wayward pass to Aisling Thompson, and you know, a free out now for Kilkenny.
Dropping this between the 20 and 30 metre line. There's a slight connection. There's a call to Amy Lee to let her roll out over the end line and wide. The Pearson goalkeeper taking the puck out quickly. Kenny saw it coming. Well won, clearly and efficiently by Niamh Deely. Trying to use a chip up with the hurley doesn't work. Nowhere to go. Referee allowing the play to continue. Don't think she broke any rule there. Backfires Niamh Deely again. Nice turn. Referee has it. The arm outstretched says she was being fouled. And Miriam Walsh Every time she gets the ball, as much as the Cork running at their opponent's defence, when Miriam Walsh gets the ball, Kate, there's a bit of panic.
Yeah, definitely. You'd have to say Miriam Walsh is definitely on her game today and is a huge target for Kilkenny. I'd actually be saying for Kilkenny they should try to get the ball in more to Miriam, because she's definitely winning that duo with Libby.
Free dead straight in front of the posts. This to put Kilkenny in front once more. Simple tap over score. Kilkenny 9 points, Cork 1-5. Katie Nolan's second point of the match. Saoirse McCarthy stopped as she was trying to deliver the ball. Laura Tracy gives it back to her goalkeeper. First touch requires a second touch on this occasion. Aisling Thompson driving it in towards the corner. Kilkenny backs are there. They should be there in sufficient numbers to get the ball away. There's a touch, barely just kept in. Not once, but twice. Trying to get the hand pass inside. Kilkenny backs again, the running, causing problems for Kilkenny, and that is a great effort and a great score. Good work by Fiona Keating. Goal and 2 points for the centre half forward now.
And she's popping up around there in front, around the D, and getting those scores, and she seems to be picking up Katie Power in midfield, so you know, a huge return from Fiona Keating.
Kilkenny with the possession. Great hook. Just took a little bit too much out of it. Cork are there in numbers. Laura Tracy is battling hard. Kilkenny did well to dig out the sliotar and get the opportunity to send in the shot. Amy Lee deals with it under no pressure. Has the time to drop it back into the Kilkenny half of the field. And it's a good ball as well. Katrina Mackey along the sideline has a goal. Is that going over the bar? The umpires have no doubt whatsoever. That is a brilliant point from Douglas on the south side of Cork City. Katrina Mackey is once again showing her class when Cork are challenged by a great challenge indeed by Kilkenny.
Yeah, super score by Katrina Mackey. You know, she took her time, took the shot, and she had the confidence, and straight between the post.
Ball breaks free. Cork have it once more, and they come forward, retaining the possession. Fiona Keating's effort is blocked down. Good block down. Subsequently, Kilkenny are fouled, and that's going to be a free-in.
And that's Katie Power getting forward on Fiona Keating and winning her free in the other end of the field. So one for Fiona, you would say one for Katie.
Katie Nolan going to take this. Just outside the Cork 45. Never veered in any direction except straight over the bar. For the 5th time in this All-Ireland final, the sides are level. Kilkenny 10 points, Cork 1 goal and 7.
And Katie Nolan so confident in those frees taken over from Denise Gall. A super score, her second score from the free.
Nicely picked up by Saoirse McCarthy. Corsi Rovers player from the Kilkenny 45. Fantastic. If Katrina Mackey can do it a moment ago, so too can Saoirse McCarthy. 2 wonderful points. Saoirse McCarthy, just look at this. Brilliant.
Super score by Saoirse McCarthy, and that's the type of play that Saoirse McCarthy is more than capable of, getting forward, getting a score, and that was her first opportunity in this game to get up the line, and you know, what a shot, Marty.
Ball seemed to be thrown. Referee has indicated that it is. Referee is correct. Cork mentor was protesting, but I don't think that influenced his decision. I think he saw it himself, so it's going to be a free. Just a few meters in from the sideline. Running repairs for Saoirse McCarthy, who I think is going to take this herself. Concern along the sideline, in front of the Hogan. Management, both managements thinking perhaps of a strategic change. Matthew Toomey. Ball is dropping in. Kenny there in numbers. Get the clearance in. It's a good one. Down towards Julianne Malone. Diagonal ball in towards the centre. Good hands. An opportunity from the middle of the field. It's bang on target. Good play. Katie Nolan at the end of it, getting her second point from play and her fourth point overall.
Super score by Kilkenny, you know, picked up in the half-back line by Denise Gall. They worked up Julianne Malone, and a great finish again by Katie Nolan.
Level for the 6th time in this All-Ireland final. And it's Kilkenny in the shade of the Hogan stand that drives it along. Kilkenny putting in the work. Great hook on this occasion by Saoirse McCarthy, and she tries it again. This ball is dropping in. Amy Lee saw that no forward was near her. She did the right thing because there's a blinding sunshine. I can tell you it's blinding because we're in the Cusack and we're finding it difficult enough to see what is on the pitch right now. At least Kate, we're going to go home with suntan, I hope, or sunburn, whichever it is, as the ball comes back in. Cork going for the score from inside the 45, but the ball is wide, but the referee has indicated that there was an infringement before that. Ray Kelly checking with his officials. Done a good job at this All-Ireland final. They have mechanical technology problems at the moment. I certainly hope that Dermot O'Connor and Mary O'Connor, who are 56 years married this weekend. Her daughter Mary, of course, won 12 All-Ireland medals between football and camogie, so we want to wish them well on their 56th year married. So well done, Dermot O'Connor and Mary. Hope you're enjoying the match. Very proud of their 3 killer girls on the Cork team. Listen to the crowd of 23,426 get behind both Cork and Kilkenny. Opportunity here for Cork to go back in front again. Amy O'Connor standing over this, having scored 3 times in this All-Ireland final, dropping it just over the black spot. And Cork are back in front, 1-9 to Kilkenny's 11 points.
Score for score, Marty. I think this is going to go down to the wire, and you know, another great score by Amy O'Connor, her 4th point of the game.
Again, a change, which I think we anticipated was going to happen. Taylor Keneally is being replaced by Sophie Dwyer in the James Stephens club. She came on actually in the semi-final against Galway and scored a great point. So obviously Brian Dowling is hoping that this player can produce something similar in the final. And it's Kilkenny that go back into the attack. Maeve Cahalan is the left corner back for Cork. Ball broken free. Kilkenny win the free. And that's going to be an opportunity for Katie Nolan to put the sides level yet again.
Yeah, and you know, any ball in and around Katie Nolan, she's coming out on the positive side of it. She's really been a thorn in the side of Cork in this game, and you know, another opportunity for her to slot that opportunity over the bar.
Won an intermediate All-Ireland title back in 2016, when she was actually playing at centre half back. Now graduated to the senior level and playing corner forward. You can see why. Sots level again. 7 times in this All-Ireland final. Cork won 9, Kilkenny 12 points. And just 12 minutes to go. And maybe a little bit more. Denise Gore whipping it in towards Miriam Walsh and company, but Cork are there in numbers. Good anticipation by Laura Tracy. Amy Lee gives it across the face of the goal. Nerve-jangling moments, but the Cork team obviously know what they're doing. They come away with it, working the ball out, but Laura Tracy took too many steps. It's a giveaway free in a tight encounter that you can't give away in the month of August, an early Christmas present, but that's what Cork have done here.
Yeah, and an absolute opportunity for Katie Nolan. And you'd have to say Cork were playing it very close to the edge there. The pass from Amy Lee right in front of the goal was a little bit short. So, you know, they were playing it tight, and Kilkenny just put the pressure on and won their free.
This time, however, the ball has gone to the right and wide. It's a let-off.
Absolutely, and uncharacteristic of Katie today.
Gathered by Hannah Looney. She was looking for the return pass. Fiona Keating. Hannah Looney now gets the return pass and sends this in and sends this over the bar. Looney and Keating combining beautifully. It's her first score of the match, the midfielder from Killa, but it's a vital one as Cork just put their noses in front by 1.
Yeah, and as you say, great movement by Cork up the middle, and the opportunity came right outside the D, and Hannah made no mistake on that one.
Emma Murphy is on from the Glen Rovers club. She made a huge impact in coming on against Waterford, and I know that the president of Glen Rovers Camogie Club, Nora Newman, is watching at home recovering. Hope you're enjoying it, Nora. It's going to be tense all the way for the next 10-12 minutes. But there is a Glen Rovers player, as normally there is in Cork Camogie, on the pitch right now. It's Emma Murphy. Libby Coppinger with the ball, giving it in towards Chloe Sigerson as Cork build slowly from the back. Good play. Great running, great anticipation, lovely hook. Full credit to Kilkenny. The ball is still in Cork's possession. The ball is dropping in, and it's just gone across the face of the goal and wide. One of the best moves in terms of the build-up, just a disappointing finish. Had potential for definite off the stick of Emma Murphy, who's just arrived. Brought off a brilliant save from the Waterford keeper, Brianna O'Regan, in the semi-final. That's Kilkenny. Go back in the attack. Thought about the move. Laura Murphy coming through the middle, laying it off. She's still there. Ball is still available. Cork defence finding it hard to get rid of the ball. Great work by Katie Nolan. Opportunity here, half blocked. Amy Lee going to prevent the 45. Almost gave it away, but she recovered well. Cork to come away with it. Good work. Here's Laura Hayes from St. Catherine's Club, giving it into the centre. Saoirse McCarthy going long. Free for the challenge on the Cork player, Chloe Sigerson. Every decision, every ball now is crucial.
Absolutely, when the time is ticking down like that. And you know, Cork are still working through the lines, getting it up, and got a lovely ball into Chloe Sigerson there. And you know, she got the free from it, but they seem to be in their momentum, and Kilkenny are just need to hit that full forward line. They're playing 2 players right in on the goal line, right in the square, and hoping to get a couple of balls in there, maybe a break in around the goal. So
who's going to be lifting the O'Duffy Cup, called after Sean O'Duffy, a male man who played a huge part in the development of Camogie. Ray Kelly, match referee for Kildare in his third All-Ireland final, explaining exactly why he's giving the free. Davy Fitz animated along the sideline, having a word with Hannah Looney. A battle to the very end. And don't be surprised if this finishes level. Cliona Healy going to be introduced from Bullock. Her mum, Eileen Buckley, was part of the Jubilee team that was introduced here in Croke Park earlier this afternoon. Player that's going off is Maeve Murphy. Meanwhile, there is concern about the Cork player, that's Chloe Sigerson. Played midfield and back in 2016 on the intermediate Cork team that lost to Kilkenny. Joined the Cork panel in 2018, 2 years later, as a half-back, but has been pushed forward into the Cork attack. Aoife Prendergast, captain from Dixborough in Kilkenny. About to be introduced, is being introduced in her third season with her county. Player that's going off is Mary O'Connell from Clara. Meanwhile, it's Amy O'Connor going for a 5th point of the game. The body language said it all. She knew she hit it rather well. They're celebrating in the stands, but it's early days, believe it or not. Cork and Kilkenny are playing. 55 minutes gone, 5 minutes to go. Cork 1-11, Kilkenny 12 points. Pulled on the clash of the Ash in Croke Park. Beautiful sound on a beautiful day. But who's going to be celebrating? We should know in about 6 or 7 minutes. Putting in the pressure is Cliona Healy. It's Kilkenny to come away with it, keeping the possession, literally along the sideline, driving it along. 2 against 1 up there, make that 3 against 2 as Cork find themselves under pressure. Libby Coppinger managing to hand pass it out, but Kilkenny are chasing everything, as you would expect from the Cats. Back there, Hannah Looney. Confident play by the midfielder, giving it back to her captain and keeper. Taking a little bit longer than anticipated. Kate Kelly almost had a heart attack here beside me. But it's Kilkenny that have the ball, putting the pressure on. 2 points down, 4 minutes to go. Free for Kilkenny. And an opportunity to get a little bit closer to the Rebelettes.
Yes, definitely an opportunity for Katie, but I think Denise Gall is actually moving over to take this one. Look at it. You know, a bit anxiousness there from Aisling Thompson, moved in too quick, and a silly soft free probably for her to give away at this point in a scoreable position.
Denise Gall, Young Player of the Year in 2009, Senior Player of the Year in 2016. Hits this, and we're going to Hawkeye. It's a crucial moment, let's be honest, because this would reduce down Cork's lead to the minimum. So all eyes on Hawkeye. And the result coming your way now. Paul or Neil, inside or out? It's a Neil, it's out.
Definitely, you'd have to say Denise Gall's confidence on frees is a little bit rocked at the minute. Like at the semi-final, she wasn't on radar, and look at Denise, other days we put them over the bar in her sleep.
Advantage Cork now at the moment, but Denise Gall responds magnificently by winning a ball that she shouldn't really have won. But it's her skill and her passion and her determination. And again, Kilkenny running at the Cork defence. No free, says the referee. Opportunity here, dropping it in, knocked away, batted out, chance here of a shot at goal, which is dropping in. It's there for Kilkenny. It's the back of the net. A goal in the 58th minute of an All-Ireland final, when you're 2 points down, is absolutely crucial. Cork defence were backpedaling. And Kilkenny were alert to the opportunity and rattled the Cork nets for the first time. Kilkenny won 12, Cork won 11. Pressure is on Cork, and away goes Amy. Amy O'Connor, past the 20, 13, hand passing it into the centre, which she really should have had a go herself. And Kilkenny have the ball, not for very long. Cork putting the pressure on the Kilkenny defence. It's a never-ending story, and the chapter keeps changing. As you turn the page, what's next? Minute and a half left. Miriam Walsh, between the 45 and 65, drops this in and drops it wide. Is there time for Cork to get an equaliser? The puck out is quickly taken. Ball sent along. Up towards Saoirse McCarthy. On the run outside is Katrina Mackey. Head down. Heading towards the 13. Flicks it with the short grip of the hurling and puts it over to the ball. Oh, the excitement levels, the decibel levels are at a maximum. Look at her go. Brilliant, Katrina Mackey. Not for the first time.
And what a frantic 2 or 3 minutes, Marty. And, you know, a super score by Katrina Mackey. She saw 3 Kilkenny players in front of her, could sense obviously there was players behind her, and flicked it out in front of her and over the bar, and it's a level game again, and I think this is going to be a super finish to this game.
Scoring chances converted. The statistics say it all. 13 out of 19 for Cork, 13 out of 23 for Kilkenny. But is there a winner here in Croke Park on All-Ireland final day? On the 7th of August, we're being treated to an absolute blockbuster. Second half. Ball sent across as Kilkenny come charging out. Taking on the Cork challenge. Sending it back down into the Cork half of the field. We're going past the 60th minute. Who has it? Miriam, free, pulled down on the 45-metre line. Is this the moment that could turn the tide in Kilkenny's favour? Miriam Walsh unceremoniously brought down. There was no question about it being a debatable free. This was a free, dead straight in front of the post. And an opportunity for Kilkenny to go in front. 4 minutes of additional time has been added on, or is going to be added on. Even the Kilkenny manager can hardly watch. That's Brian Dowling. Eight times level. He's been through it all. And his contribution to the Cork Camogie team, by all accounts, and the Cork Camogie players, I tell you, it's been huge. Denise Gore missed an earlier one from the same position. Hits this straight and through. Third point of the match for Denise Gore. And Kilkenny 113 to 112 in front. 3.5 minutes left in the drama that is All-Ireland final Camogie Day. The youngest of the Cahalans, Orla, is now being introduced. Going off is Chloe Sigerson, who picked up a knock a moment ago. Possession, absolutely crucial now. Short puck out for Libby Coppinger. Acres of Croke Park in front of her. She used playing the forwards. She's in the forward territory now. Blocked by Denise Gore. Rebound back for Coppinger. Blocked again by Denise Gore. Forget about her missing a free. The two blocks are worth coming to Croke Park to see. Laura Tracy comes in, nipping in. Sunshine is gone, so we can see a little bit more now. Laura Tracy again, laying it off. Saoirse McCarthy is available. Hand pass into the middle. Ball comes loose. Two Kilkenny cats come in. Saoirse McCarthy grabs it. Ball is available again in the middle of the field. 62.5 minutes. Remember, 4 minutes going to be added on. Miriam Walsh is in the middle of the park. Gives it back for Laura Murphy. Scored a goal and a point against Galway. Lays it off. Kilkenny will also have to try and retain the possession and keep the ball down this side of the field. Well blocked on. Still Cork have the possession now. Coming away with it's a free. 62 minutes gone. Make that 63. A minute left in additional time. Kilkenny 113. Cork 112.
this could potentially be a draw, Marty. You know, I think Cork will push for a point here, but what a finish, what a last 10, 15, 10, 5 minutes. It's been so frantic since that goal has gone in.
Amy Lee with the free. Cork have to get the possession. Kilkenny must not foul. And it's Kilkenny that win the possession, come charging out with it. Legally, by the way, fully entitled, doing well. Ball is between the 45 and 65 metre line now. Linesman indicates it's a Cork ball. 16 seconds left in the clock. How much more will the referee add on? That's at his discretion now. But at the moment, it's a sideline ball for Cork. And it's Cork on the attack. Laura Tracy just couldn't grab it cleanly. Tries to win it back. Kilkenny chase. Harris pursue. Cork have the slipper coming away with it is Hannah Looney. Herself and Aisling Thompson have been heroic in the middle of the field. Sending it up. Dangerously up. Inside the 13-metre line. Kilkenny find themselves under pressure. Trying to get the ball away. Good play. As they don't panic under the pressure. Ball comes back out of them inside the 45-metre line. Cork trying to get the slither. We're now gone past the 64th minute. 64.5 minutes played. Another ruck developing on the 45-metre line. It's Kilkenny to come away with it and clear it down. There's plenty of Cork players down. They need the ball. How much is going to be added on by the referee? We're heading towards the 65th minute. Still Cork have time, perhaps. Surely this is the last attack of the game. Fiona Keating, who's been heroic for Cork already with a goal and 2 points. Coming forward, sending it in, dropping it in, dropping it just to the right and wide off the stick of Aisling Thompson. Is that it? Is it Kilkenny's All-Ireland? The referee is calling for the slither, and Kilkenny are the All-Ireland champions. Amazing scenes, amazing finish. Cork heartbroken, but Kilkenny are bringing the O'Duffy Cup home. Look at Brian Dowling. Look at the emotion. They won the All-Ireland in 2020 when there was nobody here. It was COVID time in Ireland. Today, August 7, 2022, before a crowd of 23,426, Kilkenny are All-Ireland Senior Camogie champions for the 15th time. 8 times they were level overall. It was a slow start, a slow burner. Cork couldn't score for the first 20 minutes. Then Fiona Keating got a goal, and it all changed. And at half-time, sides were level, 1-4-7. But what a second half we've had, Kate Callan.
Absolutely, Marty. What a finish to this game, and what a second half we've had. And you know, you always felt whoever got the goal would get the edge, and it came at the right time for Kilkenny. You know, it got them back into the game. They were 2 points down. They got that goal, and look at the opportunity up and down the field in the second half. And what a finish, Marty. Just what a finish. And you know, super effort from Cork too, right up to the very end. Aisling Thompson taking that shot from the middle of the field to try get her team level to finish the game. But Denise Gall and K.E. Nolan up front, and Miriam Walsh and Grace Walsh in the back coming out with that last ball. Even just the leadership all around the field for Kilkenny was super today.
In glorious sunshine. Temperature's about 24 degrees here. Here in the Cusack stand. I'm not sure what it's like the rest of Ireland, but it's hot here. But what a game we've had in this second half as Kilkenny and Cork produced the most memorable All-Ireland Senior Camogie final. And it could have really gone either way. But that goal in the 58th minute was crucial as it brought Kilkenny back into the lead, and Cork had to chase it.
Yeah, and you know, that was kind of maybe the turning point even for Denise Gall. After she got that point and that free, it was like that confidence came back into her, and she was winning the ball here under the Cusack stand, and she was getting back into the backs, and it just gave Kilkenny that huge momentum into the last few minutes to kind of close out the game, and it was kind of a lifter they needed. But Cork didn't go away. They plucked and they battled and they fought to the end, but unfortunately they couldn't get an equaliser or a finishing score. And What a finish, Marty.
Great finish, Kate. I agree with you totally. It really was pulsating, and a wonderful end to the Camogie Championship that has produced so many memorable games all through the league and indeed through the championship. And Kilkenny, they've been unbeaten in their group. They came here, they didn't get through to the semi-final direct because of scoring difference. But let's go down to the sideline for some post-match reaction.
Sophie, congratulations, All-Ireland champions. How does it feel?
Oh, absolutely amazing. It's one of the best feelings ever. Delighted.
Heading into the final few stages, do you ever feel like it was slipping away from me?
Oh, well, we knew, our backs were going to be put to the wall at some stage in the match, but, just the sheer work rate from everyone. We knew we kept doing that, like, we had a huge chance of getting over the line, and thankfully, all the girls were fantastic out there today, so.
Sophie, that goal of yours, I mean, it looks like that's something that would have got you the All-Ireland today.
Oh, yeah, well, look, I suppose it was, it was a rebound. I suppose if I missed it, I would have been in trouble.
You're heading home as All-Ireland champions. You were here in 2020 with nobody in the stands, no family to celebrate it. What's it like having everyone here today?
Yeah, it's very special now today. Like, it was so eerie back in 2020 when we won, and none of our friends or families were there, and just to have them all here today is special.
I'll let you go on away and celebrate and enjoy it. Congratulations again.
Now I think we needed a minute there to catch our breaths, but Anne-Marie, what an exhilarating finish we had to this final. And we remarked beforehand that this Kilkenny team, they seemed like they were really playing for each other. They'd been through so much, and you just felt they were not going to give up without a fight.
That's for sure, and you have to absolutely commend Brian Dowling. Congratulations to his management team. He's been unbelievable.
Okay, Anne-Marie, we will come back to you. Let's go to Marty for the trophy presentation.
Hilda Breslin, the president of the Camogie Association, now addressing the crowd here before she'll present the Duffy Cup to the Kilkenny captain.
So I would also like to thank Ray Kelly from Camogie Club for his match officials. I'd like to thank Glendon Flex for their big support of us this year, and for our sponsors, RTE and media sponsors. It's wonderful to be able to stand up today here, and it's with a great honour that I'm going to present the Glen Dimplex Senior O'Duffy Cup to Aoife Prendergast from Kilkenny.
The O'Duffy Cup is going to Kilkenny. Aoife Prendergast receives the trophy, and they'll celebrate in Kilkenny with style. They are the All-Ireland champions for the 15th time in their history. The first was 1974, the latest is 2022.
It's a great honour for me standing up here, accepting the O'Duffy Cup on behalf of an unbelievable group of players and a fantastic management team. First of all, to the players in front of me. Girls, the dedication, hard work and commitment has paid off. And this is what it was all for. Ye deserve everything, and you're a credit to your family, your friends and the people of Kilkenny. So thank you and well done. To our management team, Ray, Philly, Pat, Tommy, Breda, Angela, and our manager, Brian Dowling. What you've done for this group of players, and myself individually, is a credit to yourselves. That's the hard work, the professionalism, and the support that you've given us both on and off the field has been second to none. Once again, you're a credit to your family, your friends and the people of Kilkenny. So on behalf of all the players, I want to thank you very, very much. To the medical team, Dr. Martin and Nicola, thanks a million for keeping us safe and looking after after us throughout the year. You haven't just been a medical team to us, you've given us support throughout all matches, so thank you. To Sarah, Ronan and James, thank you for all this analysis you've done for us throughout the year, and thank you to goalkeeper, PJ and strength and conditioner trainers David and James. Thank you. To our county board, our clubs, our schools, our colleges and all volunteers. Without you, these days won't be possible. So thanks a million. To our generous sponsors, Glanbia, Intersport, Spring Hill, and all the clubs, businesses and people of Kilkenny who've been so generous throughout the year. These funds have been vital for us going forward and progressing to win and getting over the line today. So thanks again. The Camogie Association, Croke Park, Ray Kelly and all his officials. Without G, games could go ahead. So from all the players, thank you very much. To Cork, girls, you're a fantastic team. I know it's hard to take now, but no doubt you'll be back again. You've done your county proud, so well done. 3 cheers for Cork. Hip hip. Hip hip. Hip hip. Last but not least, to our families, our friends, our partners, and ye, the Kilkenny supporters. Thanks a million. Thanks a million for all you've done for us. You've been there to support us through the good times and the bad times. We didn't get to celebrate with you in 2020, but by God, we'll make up for it. Thank you very much. Kilkenny a bit.
The Indian sensing
Just lovely there to see Aoife Prendergast lifting the trophy. You could tell from listening to her how much it meant to that team. They'd missed out on their family and friends being there in 2020. They've all been through so much, Anne-Marie. I mentioned that a few moments ago, but they've came through a very tight All-Ireland final and they're going to enjoy that one.
Oh my God, it was nip and tuck, so it was, and we didn't really know who was going to win right until the very end. Just Denise Gall, I think, like, her frees didn't go well today. She'd hit a wide right before that free at the end to win it for them. She's been on the other side of this in 2017 and 2018 when Orla Cotter got a last minute free to win it for Cork. She got 2 or 3 blocks there at the death. She came out with 2 vital possessions down in her backs at the very end. And I must say I am delighted for Denise Gall and her players and her other teammates that had been involved in that 2018 team today.
And just to say, the character and resilience that Kilkenny have probably shown all year, like any Kilkenny team, you know, when they always fully believe in themselves, but they've had lots of obstacles thrown at them this year, both off the field and on it. And I'd even think of the players like Kelly Ann Doyle, Aoife Doyle, who are missing out playing today through injury. But look at the character, look at the girls that stepped up from intermediate even last year. Tiffany Fitzgerald, Sophie Dwyer, and now they're collecting a senior All-Ireland medal too.
Yeah, one of them got the first point, one of them got the last, and it just, I think as well, like Sophie Dwyer getting that goal, what a day to do that, to come on and to have that impact. And I suppose back in 2017, Cork beat Kilkenny 10 points to 9. 2018 we beat them 14 points to 13, and now it swings in Kilkenny's favour, 113 to 112. But we mentioned it before the match, that both of these teams bring out the best in each other. And yes, at times it got quite defensive, but everybody was off their seats. It just got so tight and tense. I'm heartbroken for Cork because they did so much to pull themselves back into that game. But look, the smallest of margins, that's what it came down to.
I think we're going to be talking about that last 10 minutes out there today for a very, very long time. We're going to take a very quick break now, but we'll stay with us because we'll have lots of analysis. Well, Kilkenny are the All-Ireland champions after an exhilarating end to the final. A performance built on work rate and a very deserved victory. Aoife Prendergast, the captain there, lifting the O'Duffy Cup. Well, now let's hear from Brian Dowling.
Brian, how's your blood pressure after that ending?
Oh look, it was just unbelievable to win the match, I suppose. It was nip and tuck. I was sure I was heading for a replay there. Sophie Dwyer got the goal. Look, we needed a goal. We were trying to claw Cork back. We had a great start, but Cork kept plugging away like the great team they are. And look, we found a way. I suppose this year we've been doing that, and the character, I've said it so many times this year, and them girls, I'm so proud of them. They're just an unbelievable bunch of girls, and so happy for them now.
In 2020, everyone was here, you know, just players, no family, no friends to celebrate. How nice is it here to have your own family and their friends to celebrate today?
Yeah, look, that's what we said in the dressing room. We said it all year. We tried it last year, it didn't work. You know, our families weren't here last year, and they were the people that are there when Kilkenny lost 3 in a row. And we really wanted to do this for the Kilkenny supporters, our family, our friends, and we're so happy that they get to share this day with us now today.
It's been a long time coming. I know that there's a lot of players there, you know, you've lost players through injury and travels and retirements this year, and to still come back and to get a win this year and All-Ireland champions, that's extra special.
Yeah, look, it's really special because we lost so many experienced players, but look at the character of them girls. Tiffany Fitzgerald, first All-Ireland final, goes up and scores the first point. She's a corner back. You know, that's what these girls have. I'm just so happy for them, the effort they put in. We had a meeting on Friday night. It was one of the best meetings I was ever involved in as a player or manager. It was just powerful, and you know, I told my wife when I came home, there's no way we're going to lose this match. And look, I probably thought differently maybe a couple of minutes to go, but look, fair play to Sophie Dwyer, came in there. That's what we need, subs coming in to do, and she won the game for us.
Personally, what's it mean to you? You're manager of All-Ireland champions, Brian.
Oh, look, it's brilliant, but it's not about me, you know. There's a brilliant backroom team, Ray Chandler, Tommy Shefflin, Phil Larkin, Pat O'Neill, all the brilliant people behind me. It's about them players that are on the pitch, the players in the stand that didn't get to play. They were, you know, challenging the girls all the time, the whole way through.
You're bringing silverware back to Kilkenny tonight to a banquet. I'm sure you'll enjoy the celebrations.
Yeah, look, we won in 2020. We had to leave the Duffy Cup home. Didn't get home for about 5 months, but we're going to bring it home tonight, and by God, we're going to celebrate this one.
Enjoy. Thanks as always,
just before we go, I'd just like to pay our respects and condolences to Dylan Quirk and his family, his friends, his teammates. The news rocked the country on Friday night. We're absolutely devastated. At the end of the day, we're delighted, but that's only a game of hurling. There's a lot more goes on off the pitch, and on behalf of myself, Kenny Camogie, we just offer Dylan's family and his friends at this time through this tough time.
Fair play, Brian. Thanks again.
All right, thanks, Dad.
Well done, Brian.
Really well said there from Brian Dowling. He's such a thoughtful guy, and you know that was so evident in the build up to this game and over the last few months, the way he's been speaking, the bigger picture on it that he always references, and he does so again there. But ultimately, though, he has created something so special out there, and he's going to give everybody in Kilkenny brilliant memories of today.
Yeah, and I suppose like that, when tragedy or sadness, you know, has touched a lot of families in Kilkenny for various different reasons. I suppose, like sometimes it can break a squad, but like for them it unified them. And he spoke about that meeting, what I wouldn't have given to be a fly in the wall in that meeting, because sometimes if you don't harness that emotion, it can go against you. But they held their nerve. Like they really didn't, and like all, I suppose, everything that they probably had stood for this year, that community that within the team, that was really evident in those final moments. They were playing for each other. They were running off the shoulder. They were getting in 3s and 4s into the rucks. And like that is so powerful. I said it earlier. Sometimes that's more important than scores. And, you know, it obviously means so much to them. And like I think in 2020 when they couldn't celebrate it properly, I'm pretty sure they're going to celebrate this one doubly so now.
Yeah, and well deserved as well. And Anne-Marie, look, we know from them that Brian had to replenish his squad, he had to reshuffle his pack, he had to go to the well so many times, and then when he needed it, it was Sophie Dwyer that stepped up with the goal.
Yeah, absolutely. And he mentioned it there, like to think that Sophie O'Dwyer, she got a goal of the 58th minute. Tiffany Fitzgerald, the 2 intermediates from last year, Tiffany Fitzgerald popped up the first point. Sophie O'Dwyer here, in fairness, a looping ball in. Amy Lee was off her line a small bit. There was nothing she could do when he batted out. And look, Sophie O'Dwyer, there was no way that was going to be on anything other than back of the net at that stage. Yeah, kept her eye on the ball and, you know, back of the net.
And tough for Amy Lee there as well. She'd done so well, Anna.
Yeah, and I think, I think if she probably had that again, she might have caught it. But in that moment when the pressure's on, you're trying to just think, like, get the ball out of the danger zone. But I just feel if she'd caught that ball and ran out the side, you know, it could have actually avoided the goal. But look, they're the things in the moment that happen, and, you know, Sophie capitalised.
Yeah, and it looked actually like it was almost, when we were watching it up here, like she was going in slow motion, you know. Was she going to get there? Was someone going to get there before she did? But Ursula, she made no mistakes.
Yeah, and her reaction to the flick out from Amy Lee was brilliant, and that's what you expect from a forward. And she's well used to. She performed on the biggest day last year at intermediate level, and then today, when she got one chance, she took it. And that's what you want from your panel. You want strength and depth, and Kilkenny had it today.
Yeah, and another big performer, Ursula, was Katie Nolan.
A massive performance. Katie Nolan right throughout the match today. It was her work rate, her grafting. She took over the frees from Denise. She got 3 brilliant points from frees in the second half, and this brilliant score from play. But it's her ability in the ruck ball to gather possession. She just seems to be able to, amongst 9 or 10 players, get the ball into her hand. But her work rate was the most impressive thing. We were even commenting when Laura Tracy carried the ball coming out of defence. It was Katie who was chasing her. She must be the most annoying player to mark because she never gives up, but she's just an unsung hero on this team.
Love to see the stats on her possessions today because she was involved in so much today.
And the GPS tracker, I'd say, if there's one on her, that'd be very interesting as well.
And at times when maybe Denise didn't feel comfortable or didn't feel maybe that free was for her, she had the trust and the confidence to hand it over to Katie, Anna.
She did, and I suppose, and Katie stepped up, and sometimes when you have a foreign player, they're the one you do give the place balls to, particularly if you're not on song yourself. Everything that she seemed to do, I always define a player by their work rate, and she was running off, she was very unselfish, passing the ball, she set up a few different scores as well for Kilkenny, and it was an all-round performance really today from her.
I'd love to know whose call it was for Denise to go back and take the last free.
Well, if I wasn't nervous then, I'll never be nervous. I wasn't sure when she stepped up because she had missed one. But look, the big player.
I know, a big player, and I'm delighted for her, to be honest, because she's gone through an awful lot with Kilkenny Camogie, and for Brian Dowling as well. 2 All-Irelands in 3 years. That's something very special for a manager to come in and do that.
Yeah, and really she actually, a few times you would have seen Denise like all the way so deep in her defence. Like, again, winning the dirty ball, giving the hand pass out, like being the support player. So, you know, we all know Denise, this prolific scorer, but she was prepared to do the unsung hero work as well today.
Yeah, she was fantastic, and we saw Claire Phelan just a second ago there, and I think we can add Grace Walsh to this duo as well, because they're the spine there, they're the experience, and they're the ones that have put in year after year and stepped up and drive the standards.
And that's it, and they've suffered the heartache like Cork are suffering today, but it's the fact that they come back year in, year out. Grace showed huge, versatility this year going back into the full back line, and she really steadied the ship. And for that free at the end that Miriam Walsh won, it was Grace Walsh who was driving out from full back who set up that play.
And it looked like Ursula that she was playing with one shoulder for the second half, to be honest.
Yeah, I'd say she probably has badly damaged it because she looked in quite a lot of pain, but again, shows the character that Grace has, really.
We saw Aisling Thompson there, Anna, and look, it was difficult for her there at the end. She did have the opportunity to score a point. It didn't go her way, and it probably just shows the measure of her as well. Like, she did step up and take it.
Absolutely, and she was running at Kilkenny time and time again, like trying to break down that half back line. And I mean, if she didn't step up and she'd passed the ball off, people could have said, oh, why didn't you go for a shot? You could never blame a player for stepping up and having the courage to have it. And if she had put the ball over the bar, it would have been a draw. But I think they're the small margins. Like Denise Gall had put a free wide in a few moments previous. And I suppose the big players, like, they can't get it right all the time. But like, there was, I'd say, like probably millimetres that on that ball going over the bar and wide. And I suppose that's what it comes down to in an All-Ireland final. We spoke about how close these teams have been in the last few years. And it's sometimes like it's with you, or other times it's not. And I am gutted for them because, like, in the second half, Cork led for the first time, and you kind of felt they hadn't done a whole pile of hurling in the first half. They went in a half-time level, and suddenly they came out and led in the first half, and the players started stepping up. They started doing the things that they can do well, like running off the shoulder, taking the long shots, putting the ball over the bar. And like, that's, I was just willing them to do more of that.
And you could see why she took it on as well, because they had got joy from those long range shots a little bit earlier on.
They did, and in fairness, credit to Amy Lee with her puck out. She was superb. She picked out Katrina Mackey here, excellent. And like I mentioned earlier before the match, down the flanks, Katrina took it on, and what a great shot from the sideline over the bar. We'd be hurling like the hurlers if they were doing that, and it was a brilliant. And same thing here. Saoirse McCarthy had so much work to do as a wing back. She came in with 5 points into the championship, and she made a blistering run down the field and stuck the ball over from about 60 yards over the bar. I just was like, if they had done that a few more times, when they got the momentum and suddenly they'd led, I was like, come on, keep doing it. But Kilkenny started to gather themselves again, and then they started shutting down that possession.
Yeah, look, there were two brilliant teams today, and they gave us an absolutely fantastic All-Ireland final, so fair play to both of them. Don't forget the Sunday game at 9:30 on RT tonight will wrap up all of today's action, and also the player of the match will be revealed. My thanks to Ursula, to Anna and to Anne-Marie for joining me today. Congratulations to worthy champions Kilkenny. It's been another thrilling year for Camogie in a summer where women's sport took pride of place. Until next time, goodbye.